Good evening. Quickly. It is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023, and we are still watching the markets go down. I drew in some lines. I think I showed some of these, but I went ahead and connected the tops and the bottoms through this drawdown. Um, and if you notice here, when you do this, this ends up turning into a wedge pattern. Um, this is probably some traders wouldn't say think this is very kosher, but I'm telling you, it works for me pretty well. We've extended beyond the lower trend line here. On this is the E-mini futures contract on the 1 hour chart in the overnight. um, we are extended to the downside. You can see the true Momo indicator is not all the way to the oversold territory. So is this thing over? No, I actually thought it might be. Today we could get a spike down, but now we're at RSI 2 of 7.6762. Sorry, 67. There it is, and it's fluctuating back and forth. We are below the Bollinger Bands, which is why my little white arrow showing up there. It's popping back up into them. So this down in this territory here could be, it's the neck of the woods for the reversal potentially, and we're down at this lavender line over here on the weekly chart. So um, trends or reversals of trends. Um, I've heard in the past, markets will go much higher than you expect, and then when they reverse, they go much lower than you expect, and they're literally are getting people to be shaken off so that they can reverse and literally, you know, something to the tune of 95% of traders fail, and I mean this is the kind of action that does it. So um, I have been one of those failing traders in my day, and I am past that now. So the beauty of it is, I know how to deal with this. And the truth of the matter is, one of the best ways to deal with this is just not be in it at that point. So when that thing turned red back here, if you were long, when this thing turned red and that thing turned red, and I mean if you were long, you just get out. Um, that's my best way. There's ways to go short too, but and I did some of that as I've shared. Anyways, I got to move on. But I want to show this too. So this is the E-mini futures with the same. My lines draw through, and now we're at the three average true ranges to the lower side. Um, we're getting to the point where it's extended. Is kind of my point. So then this too. This is the McClellan oscillators, and I was talking about it getting down into this way oversold territory before, and now if you notice, that's getting down there. You know, in this move, and check that out. When it was down there before, we got way extended, and then it went nicely way back up again before it rolled over. And then even when it rolled over, it just went sideways through all that action there, and that's the obviously the S&P, which um, it's its own animal. If you put in, well, not that, because the McClellan oscillators won't change. Literally, if I put in QQQ right here, all it's going to change is the top, and these McClellan oscillators stay the same. So, yeah, and these purple lines, for what it's worth, those are old support or resistance, and you can see it goes back and forth between those lines too. So, all right, this is let's flip in just over here so we can do it. Um, the RUT. So this is the Russell, and you can see we're extended beyond the three ATRs to the downside. So um, we'll flip back over here, and you can see now that the RSI2 on the Russell is at 0.84. And I explained this indicator the other night, and even a trading system to go with it. And I went ahead and actually went long uh, with some stock. Actually, I did it in the. This is the Russell. Um, I forget what they call it, but it's got a lot of it's got, what do they call this thing? Yeah, small cap bull 3x. So I mean, I went long there because I got a good risk to reward ratio, and yeah, all that. So, and I did it with the right size, and I also know where my limit is to get out if I get to the point where it's unbearable, and I'll just get out. But you can see over here on the weekly chart, it is green and in a pullback. So there you go. That's one way to play it for me. I am not advocating that you do that because it still may be quite a storm that I have to withstand here. And I'm also noticing this could be the beginning of a head and shoulders pattern, this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and then we could roll up into here and get um, a head and shoulders pattern, which would put a target all the way back down here where it came from. Alright, that's that, and oil is down pretty hard. I was looking for this, and now I'm looking for a buy potential area. And why? Because it's green in here. This thing's positive. It's green over here. If this thing rolls back up again, or when it does, that's a potential buy for me. I'm going to flip over now to stockcharts.com. Type in bull for bullish. And I'm just going to type in bullish. That's what happens when I go too fast. Bullish. There. And we'll buzz through these real quick. The industrials didn't move, which is interesting. The NYA tacked on a new O to the downside, minus 2.21%. The transports didn't move. The NASDAQ, minus 2.11%. The SPX, minus 2.19%. The S&P 100 tacked on a new O to the downside, minus 1.59%. And the NDX. These are going to be our canaries in the coal mine. Minus 4.44%. So we need to see like a great catalyst for a jobs report or something like that pop out, which I'm not even checking into. Econoday.com is where I can go look up some of those reports, but really Thursdays are usually full of stuff like that. So maybe by the time the market's open, we're getting some kind of a bounce. Although I would actually look for a bounce here on the bullish percent indexes before I would actually look to see it on the actual charts themselves. And then finally, the automatic trading systems, and I'm a little out of order here, but this is the Russell 2000, and we've had it was basically not a lot of trading. 8.1 went to 8.7, went to 8.10, and 8.14, and then 8.15, 16. So 14, 15, 16, we've had some wins in the face of a lot of drawdown, which is what that looks like right there. A lot of drawdown and then some wins. This is the Dow futures, and we had a lot of sideways action and then a bounce, and that's what this looks like. So a lot of back and forth, but then a decent bounce right here. And then, still my favorite, the NASDAQ, where we've had a pullback in the last few days, but today was a nice rally as far as our equity goes. These are equity curves, not stock charts. And so we've had a nice run here of some wins over what we've had as some losses, but overall this, you can see this whole page of something to the tune of 20 trades is mostly bullish, mostly gains over losses, and that's how it's played. So I'll leave you with that tonight, and we'll talk to you again Thursday night. Take care.